You know, some of my least favorite people in the world are racial supremacists, be they white supremacists or black supremacists. Either way, you make it harder for the objective truth to come through. Why am I saying this? Well, I told you I was going to talk about the Austin Metcalf-Anthony Carmelo case, and here I am to speak on it just a bit. Now, I'm not going to go and show any witness testimony. I'm not going to read out any articles. I'm not doing any editing on this video. This is just straight opinion. And my opinion is that based off of all of the witness testimony, literally every single one, like not a single witness testified that Mr. Metcalf, young Metcalf, was the aggressor. That Mr. Anthony Carmelo was asked 15 times to leave that tent that he was under, that was not his school's tent. 15 times he was asked until young Mr. Metcalf attempted to physically move him. And based off the witness testimony, at best, he shoved him. Shoved him. No one has claimed that any actual strikes were thrown, no blows were landed, no one was punched or kicked or bit or power bombed or anything of that nature. A young man was somewhere he was not supposed to be, was not welcome, was asked to leave repeatedly, and after 15 times, someone tried to physically remove him in what seems to be a pretty reasonable manner. And in response, Carmelo stabbed this young man in the heart, ultimately ending his life. And the reason I talk about supremacists, racial supremacists, is because you've got all these racist black supremacists that have been on the internet for the last year, making up lie after lie, coming up and imagining their own situation that justifies Carmelo's violent action. We've had everything from he was being jumped by 4 boys to he was it wasn't a knife, it was a cleat sharpener, which, you know, if you never played sports, if you haven't followed the case, I played football back in the day, I played a few sports back in the day. Anyways, cleat sharpener, not a thing, not a real thing. The cleats screw in, you replace them by screwing new ones in, you don't sharpen them. These people made up an entire object that does not exist to try and justify their worldview. Willing to do anything and say anything to defend a violent murderer. Now, I don't know if I would find guilty on second or first degree at this point. It's something that I would truly have to deliberate on very deeply. But I'm not on the jury, so it doesn't really matter. What does matter is that by every single possible account, Carmelo Anthony was the aggressor. He started an altercation with somebody larger than him, and when that larger person responded, he pulled out a deadly weapon and ended that young man's life. This is not too terribly dissimilar from the Rick Chow case that I have been harping on for the last 24 hours. You cannot start a fight or instigate a fight with someone, and then when you think things might not go your way, pull out a weapon and end that person's life. You are the initial aggressor. You should have walked away, bud. And you were given every chance, Mr. Anthony. 15 chances, in fact, to turn and walk away. So yes, this young man needs to take his ass to the joint. Bye-bye to the penitentiary. Now, the reason I bring up supremacists of any culture is because if you watch my last 2 videos, you know that I think Rick Chow should be in prison for ending Cyrus Belton's life. In no way, shape, or form, after the evidence, after the testimony, the witness testimony, there's no way that I do not find Mr. Chow guilty. And, you know, I had a comment on one of the videos saying that he wasn't charged properly, and maybe that is the case. I think I probably would have sent his ass anyways, just based off of morality. But the reason that I hate these supremacists, whether they're white or black or anything else, is because their lies, their refusal to accept objective facts makes it easier for the other side to say, look, see, they're the racists, they're the bad ones, yada, yada, yada. On either side, whether you think Chow was innocent or should be released because, you know, young black men are dangerous, or if you think that Carmelo Anthony should be freed and you know, not convicted because, you know, black people stick together. On either side, you are the problem. Because the fact of the matter is that Chow should be in prison and Anthony should be in prison. Both of them need to go away for a good 20 years because they both committed a homicide unjustifiably against people that were not initiating aggression against them. So, if you think that Chow should be free, but Carmelo should go to jail, you're an idiot. If you think that Carmelo should go free and if you think that Chow should be free and Carmelo should go to jail, you're an idiot. If you think, vice versa, you're an idiot. By every clear and objective fact, both these people should be in prison. If you cannot make this judgment without factoring race into it and letting that color your decision, you are the problem. But if you like objective facts, if you look at things for what they are rather than what you feel about them, and you'll stand with me in saying justice for Cyrus and justice for Mr. Metcalf.